Look at that, look. Wow. Okay, now I am possibly sort of maybes in a reasonably half good, sort of okay kind of position to be able to talk to you about these Invictuses, or as the plural is, Invicti. Admittedly, they're not all original Paco Rabannes. A lot of these are clones, and that's the clones are the ones you want to know about, so stay with me please. First of all, a massive, massive, arms open wide, warm welcome to a crazy John Legg fragrance review. I'm not a YouTuber, this is not monetized, this is not sponsored or anything like this. I'm just a random crazy guy with a massive collection of fragrances and a desire to pass on the passion to inspire you, yes you, to wear a good fragrance every single day. Now, Invictus is one such example where you can wear it every day. You know, a lot of people say to me, oh, it's only really for the summer. No, seriously, Invictus, the original Invictus, is perfect any season, any sitting. You can stand in it as well, any sitting. Whoa, no. Any setting, any occasion, any season, any time. Okay, now, my big claim to fame is that I don't have a bottle of the original Paco Rabanne Invictus, but I've got my little reference sample here. I know exactly what it smells like. I've worn it loads, and I can tell you about all the different ones. We're actually going to review this one, INVICTO Intense by Fragrance World. But just before, let's do some waffle. Okay, no, let's wind back to 2019 where Paco Rabanne launched this incredible fragrance. Now, I was a little bit late to the party. I got this sample early on, I sprayed it, and it didn't massively sort of wow me, okay, because I was still being wowed by 1 million, the original 1 million, and to me Invictus was kind of like a sort of a little sort of offshoot from 1 million. Okay, but I'm now at the party, and the party is in full swing. Now, across the years there's been many different Invictis dropping, okay, and it wasn't until this one, Invictus Victory. Man, I got my nose on that one, and I was like, okay, I'm interested in Invictus. Okay, now I have to be perfectly honest, this isn't massively connected with the original Invictus, but it does sort of maybe very loosely have the Invictus vibe. This is a gorgeous ambery vanilla fragrance, little fizz of citrus at the top, and it drops down into sort of an amber and a sort of vanilla, and the amber is so gorgeous. It's like, it's not smoky, but you know, if you've had a campfire or something and then you smell the sort of charred wood the morning after, it's kind of like that. I think that is amazing, and I know a lot of other people do, but it's not massively rated. It's underrated, this one, Invictus Victory. Okay, that's that one. From that stems Invictus Victory Elixir. Take Victory and add the sort of gloopy sort of elixir vibe. That's gorgeous, that's creamy, that's sexy, that's amazing. Okay, well worth having that in your collection because it does a fantastic job. Now, the other one which I recommend, every guy, if you wear fragrances and you want something which is a complete zero-brainer, you come out the shower, you think, what shall I wear? Okay, that platinum, there isn't a fresher fragrance, there isn't a sharper fragrance out there than that. That seriously is punchy kind of sharp, and that gets a lot of attention. Okay, it really does. Okay, now we looked at recently the Maison Alhambra Victorioso. Fantastic clone with fantastic performance of the original Invictus. But since then, I have also got the Pandora Paris Corner scent, whatever it is, the Harrier. And that's okay. It chugs along, that one does. It's a dull sort of version of Invictus. All the energy is taken out because the original Invictus is packed full of energy. That one isn't, but if you don't want that sort of... Alright, okay, wait a minute, Leggy. Describe Invictus, the original. Picture some sweet, overly sweet sort of bubblegum, sort of underpinned by a salty sea sort of breeze, and then a woody drop. Okay, and you're going to say, Leggy man, how on earth can bubblegum work in a fragrance? How on earth can females, because females love Invictus, how can they find bubblegum coming off a guy sexy? I don't know, but they seriously do. Females love, with a capital L, love Invictus. They love any of the Invictuses, especially the original. Okay, where were we? Okay, so the Maison Alhambra is good. The Harrier by Pandora Sense is toned down Invictus, but it's still good. Now, I found this one a few months back. Fragrance World's Invicto. Man. Now, let me tell you, I took these to work, the Maison Alhambra and the Invicto, and I sprayed it for one of the super hot girls I work with. And she didn't hesitate. She said, Leggy, that one is the one I would want to smell on my boyfriend. Invicto. Okay. Now, I say the Invicto on my skin is better than the Maison Alhambra. Not saying the Maison Alhambra is bad. For an hour and a half, it's loud, okay? But Invicto by Fragrance World, seriously, for about 2 hours, it's a very good projection, okay? And then it dips down to a scent bubble and continues for another 2 or 3 hours. Very good, that Fragrance World. Now, we looked at a little while back, this one, Invicto Legend. Okay, that's amazing. Because you cannot buy the Paco Rabanne, you cannot buy the original Legend. It's gone bye-byes. But Fragrance World have took that one by the horns and gone, you know what, we'll do it. And they have. Now, I will be honest with you, out of the 3 Invictos that I have, he's going to try and hold them without dropping them. Out of the 3 Invictos that I have, the one that projects the most and gets the most attention is actually Legend, okay? It's even better than Invicto, and it is better than Invicto Intense. Now, a little while back, what a story this is. Okay, a little while back we looked at that. Now I have to say, Maison Alhambra's take on Victory, the original Victory, those two are the same. Okay, except for the fact that there's a massive difference in price. The original Invictus Victory is around about £70, 100ml. That one, I got that for around about £20, maybe a smidgen over £20 British money. That one, Maison Alhambra have seriously got that right. There's no chemical to go through. You are straight into an incredible, a very long projection. You're almost up to 2 hours on that one. It's projecting off you. That is stunning. Okay. So whereas the Maison Alhambra, the original Victorioso, is good, a little bit of chemical at the start and it projects quite well. If you want something that comes off you even more for even longer, go for the Victorioso Victory. Okay. But this review is all about this one. You're going to say, Leggy mate, you've just spent nearly 10 minutes waffling about every other one and now you're telling us about this one. Now the reason why I'm telling you about this one now is because I've sort of set the backdrop. Now this is another Fragrance World. So what you don't get is you do not get the love handles of the original, okay? You get the big fat juicy bottom, which I tell you, if you drop that on your foot you would not be walking for several weeks, okay? So it has a big juicy bubble butt and it is Invicto Intense by Fragrance World. Now this, incredibly, I got this for, I think it was 18 British pounds. It's the 100ml, it's the Eau de Parfum, and I got it on eBay. Now what I will say, for all of the clones that I've been talking about, you do have to macerate them, okay? Now a lot of them, I sprayed them and I thought, you know, that's not bad, you know, and the performance was decent. Spray, maybe 15-20 sprays, and then literally put it in the back of your wardrobe and totally ignore it. Even if it's calling your name, ignore it, okay? Give it 2 to 3 weeks, come back to it, and that's when the magic happens, okay? These things, these sort of budget clones, do need to macerate. I don't know the science behind it, but it does definitely make a difference. A smoother smell and a definite longer performance, okay? Now, what about Invicto Intense? Because once again, this, fair play to Fragrance World, this is a copy of what I believe is now a long deleted fragrance. Paco Rabanne launched it, it ran for a couple of years, and it's gone. Okay, get you hooked and then drop you like a balloon. No, a lead balloon or something like that. So Invicto Intense by Fragrance World. Let's spray it and let's tell you how this stacks up as a clone, how it stacks up against the others. Now, this is confession time. Massive, massive confession. I have never ever smelt the original Paco Rabanne Invictus Intense. Again, you're going to say, Leggy, how can you tell us how close it is? I genuinely can't. Hands up, okay, my bad. I do not know what the original smells like, but I can tell you something. Fragrance World's Invicto Intense is absolutely gorgeous. There is still a thread of the DNA of Invictus. All right, so picture turning the bubblegum, sort of juicy bubblegum down, turning the salty sea sort of air vibe down, and then putting over the top of it a gorgeous, gorgeous creamy orange floral. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, and then turn the amber up. So if you like, the amber comes up to make this gorgeous creamy orange floral, and the other thing in the middle of this fragrance is a very, very slight booziness. Okay, is it gorgeous? Now let me tell you, it is gorgeous. I wore it to work the other day, and one of the females I work with, the lovely Natalie, I walked up to her because she asked me a question, so I went up to her to answer this question, and when I got there she said, before anything else, Leggy, she says, you smell amazing. Okay, now this is gorgeous. Okay, out of all the Invicti, this is possibly the most gorgeous. Now, why on earth Paco Rabanne stopped producing it? It's one of those, I don't get it. I seriously do not get it. This fragrance is creamy, very slightly boozy. You won't, the booziness isn't massive, and the creamy sort of orangey floral and the amber is smooth. Now the amber in something like Victory is sharp and kind of burnt. Okay, the amber in Invicto Intense is creamy, smooth and gorgeous. Okay, if I use the word sexy, I'm going to use the word sexy because seriously, Natalie said to me, she said, before anything else, she said, Leggy, you smell amazing. Okay, now Natalie, well, I've got to be very careful politically. I'm not allowed to say she's fussy, but she always says, Leggy, I'm not fussy, but I do know what I like. And she loved this. Okay, now, performance on Invicto Intense. Now, once again, after maceration, give it 2 or 3 weeks, ignore it, spray, 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 ignore it, okay? Come back to it. Because, all right, I will be honest with you, when I first got this, I sprayed it a few times and I smelt it and I thought, it's quite nice, you know, fragrance isn't great. But within the hour, it had gone. And I was thinking, no, it's going to be better than that. And they all are, trust me. 3 weeks later, I came back to it, I sprayed it, and not only was the smell even creamier and even smoother, the actual performance, well, Natalie smelt it on me. Right, for the first up to 2 hours, this is radiating. I'm not going to use the word projecting because it doesn't literally fire off you. It radiates off you nicely, and as you move around, it is like you've got quite a big scent bubble and it moves with you up to 2 hours. Okay, now people are going to say, Leggy, 2 hours isn't long enough. Okay, let me cut the stress out of all this. 2 hours isn't long enough. Carry an atomizer, whether you go for the Travelo or whether you go for the perfume pod, whichever one you go for, keep that in your pocket. Now, I had topped up a couple of times during the day, quick little spritz, and that kept that gorgeous vibe going. Now, after the sort of 2 hours of it radiating off you nicely, Invicto Intense sort of comes down to a sort of half arm's length scent bubble. On clothes, it is there the next day, and on skin, all day. Literally, I got in the shower on the evening, and as I was showering, as the water was going on it, I could smell Invicto Intense. So I think it was around about £18 British money, eBay British UK, whatever it is. We're in the UK somewhere. This, my friends, is an absolutely gorgeous version of Invicto. Well, Invictus. Okay. Just before I go and leave you to pieces, or whatever it is, leave you in peace, this one, the new one, Invictus perfume, and you can't even focus on it. I don't know. My jury, my nasal jury is still out on this one. Crazily, it does pick up on the original Invictus, but it's got like a very strange soapy sort of vibe to it. Apparently, well, according to the instructions, it says it's got black soap, and I think that's the bit where my nasal jury is just going, I don't know. Trust me, it is fairly good in terms of performance. I'm getting sort of an hour and a half of it sort of radiating off me quite strongly, sort of thing. But I just haven't made my mind up. It probably will end up a full bottle in my collection, but that's a different matter. So, if you want my recommendation is all three of these fragrance wheels. Fragrance wheels are absolutely on fire at the minute. If you want something that is gorgeous, sort of summery scent with fantastic projection and amazing performance, Invicto Legend. If you want something that seriously is the same as the original Invictus, go for Invicto. Once again, incredible performance, and I think it was a £14.99. Absolute bargain of the century, that is. And if you want something that is creamy, slightly boozy, with a gorgeous smooth amber base that literally will get you compliments, and it's kind of really classy, this one. This pointing down there, man, there, this one here, Invicto Intense, is smooth, creamy and classy. Okay, I think that's everything. All right, okay, you're thinking, Leggy, mate, you have waffled for too long. Now, I really do appreciate this is a long review, so I thank you if you've stayed with me all that way. I'd appreciate a thumbs up as well. Literally just down there somewhere is a little picture of a thumb, and if you click it, it goes like that. It sort of goes all excited. So if you could do that, please, because I get excited with thumbs up. I do really appreciate thumbs up, and I do really appreciate your company. I know we're all busy, and I do appreciate you taking the time and the energy and the effort to stay with me throughout this video. I'm going to go now, but there are three things. Please stay safe. Wherever you are on this beautiful planet, please stay safe. Number two is please come back for another review, because all being well, there will be another one. And thirdly, this is important. Take a fragrance, for this one for example, and spray it. And I will say, with these clones, over moisturised skin, you know, spray generously. You can afford to, because you've spent pennies compared to the real thing. You know, I go sort of 3 on the front part of my neck, couple on my back, and then I haze it. Don't go too close to close, because it will look like a sort of nipples leaking or something. Literally haze it onto clothes, and you will get so good performance out of these budget fragrances. Where was I? Oh yes, I'm going to find that off button, and as soon as I find that off button, I am off. So see you and goodbye.